Welcome back to Politico Politica with me, your host, Isabella Akinseye. It's time for our Project Nigeria segment. So you're a lecturer, and I want you to see Nigeria as a project. So Project Nigeria, will this project be successful? Will you give it a pass mark?
Are you talking about so far?
Yes.
No, I can't give it a pass mark. It's been
Is this an F9 and a dismal failure?
Abysmal, I don't want to call it dismal. Nigeria has been tossed into the abyss. And so as a result, dismal failure, no question about it. So is the reason I'm doing what I'm doing, is the reason I've done this for 30 years. Is that I have found the level of failure of leadership of the so-called Nigerian project as something that is unacceptable, and that must be contested. That level of decadence must be contested until we find a project that is working. It will be unfair, or probably it's an oxymoron, to call it a project. It's just something that it's not a project. If it was a project, there would have been levels of success that you can measure. And it's okay, maybe, this one didn't work, but it wasn't.
Like maybe you didn't get the final answer, but the workings, like in mathematics, show that you've been successful.
No. Except you want to do what they call wuru to the answer in Nigeria, where you come to a conclusion that something succeeded because you couldn't figure out how it.
So you walk back from the answer.
Yeah, exactly. So you're walking back from the answer. No.
What would you say is the factor that is responsible for this, in your words, abysmal failure? Will you say it's strictly a leadership problem?
It is a leadership problem. It is. The moment you get it wrong with leadership, right, there's nothing else that can work. Nothing else works. And so I've heard people postulate that, followership is also part of the problem. That could be true, but you see, there's no election where followers are elected because societies are designed and formulated around leaders.
But some will argue that the followers get the leaders they deserve because they elected the leaders.
That could be true. But that is if the leaders have not figured out how to create their followers. In Nigeria, the leaders have succeeded in creating the kind of followers that create the leadership that they don't deserve. I don't know if this makes sense. We have to just look at it from that angle. That most of Nigeria's problem is like a carefully crafted system that produces every result in the interest of a few. And in that case, whenever the result is supposed to present terrible followership, they're going to create the followers. I've even argued before, and I hate religious controversies, that Nigerian politicians figured out how to create their own God. And that is to say that the Nigerian God doesn't get angry, doesn't get upset, so it's a customized God. So you see a church that's filled with politicians who have done terrible things, carried out murder, stolen monies meant for babies, and the church leaders will ask them to vote for them. Everybody will say amen. Nothing happened. And you're wondering what happened to thunder in the days of God that doesn't tolerate nonsense. That's on the lighter side, but that's how bad things are.
So what will your leadership be like? What are you offering the people of Nigeria? How will you take Nigeria to being Project Nigeria from an F9 to an A1?
It's going to be completely transformational. Most importantly, very innovative, bold, very, very radical leadership. And I'm saying it so that nobody will come back and say, oh, you never told us. It's going to be a non-nonsense, very competent leadership that will take every project that is required on those 10 planks that we want to revive Nigeria and make sure that everything is being done without rest. It's going to be leadership with stamina. You find us everywhere. Everywhere you turn, you see us. In the road construction, in your hospitals, you feel it, because that's also part of how you motivate society to believe in their own space. And when you motivate people, you'll be surprised how many people are out there who are they're not looking for handouts, they're not looking for money. They just need motivation. They need to be able to wake up to believe in the leadership of the country. And that will spark innovation in their heads, and they'll produce something that you never heard about before because somebody motivated them to do it. It happened in the movie industry in this country, it happened in the music industry. So if you can imagine if that happens in leadership, everybody will be dancing to the leadership music out of Nigeria.
And how will you position Nigeria as that giant of Africa?
Is to stop calling Nigeria a giant of Africa, because that's what put us to sleep. We are not a giant of anywhere. We are just a gigantic failure as a nation. Go to work, do what needs to be done, move your people, give them employment, give them health, give them education, and see what they can do. Because without even doing any of these things, look at what Nigerians are doing on their own whenever they step out of here. Nigerians are successful everywhere else in the world except inside of Nigeria. There's something holding back their progress here. We must break that chain.
And my final question will be, how will you make Nigeria safe and secure for its citizens and for even foreign direct investment to come in?
So it's going to be that we overhaul our security system, but the security system cannot be in isolation of employment, healthcare, electricity. Otherwise, you will have a police state. What makes people take to crime most of the time is because they can't find regular jobs. If you keep them busy. I was at the University of Lagos the other day, we were talking about housing, and I proposed that we turn Nigeria into a construction site. So if everybody has a job, if we invest $3.6 billion trying to build houses, 17 million houses, and they go to work from morning to night, and the next day they're looking for, probably they have less time to go doing Yahoo or trying to kidnap, because there's work to be done and they're getting paid and they're investing, and there'll be nightlife. Like I said, people will be innovating and they will feel a full involvement and engagement within the within the economy of the country, and by extension its politics. This is how it is done everywhere else. And then you build your country out of poverty. You can innovate out of poverty. You can educate out of poverty. You can grow crops that will provide food security, and you feed yourself out of poverty as well.
Thank you, Omoyele.
Thank you.
We'll be going on a quick break on Politico Politica, but when the show returns, it's our light-hearted segment. I call it the Quick Fire segment. Do stay with us.